Hello and welcome to the Lesbian Lounge, a podcast for the girls who like girls. I'm your host and your resident lesbian big sister, Juliet Taylor, and I'm here to answer your guys' questions, give advice on your dilemmas, and of course, chat about your wildest lesbian dating stories. So grab a drink, get comfy, and welcome into the Lesbian Lounge. Welcome back, everybody. It is officially we are a go. 2026 is happening. Last week was New Year's Day. Last year was 2025, but now we're full steam ahead, 2026, making it the best year possible of our lives. I hope it's off to a good start. We're a week in. Hopefully we're still managing to keep up with our New Year's resolutions. Hopefully they haven't died off already. Fingers crossed for you all. But how is everybody doing? Have we been up to anything exciting? I know I, for one, have, and I have some super exciting things I can finally talk to you all about today. So shall we just jump straight on into that? So if you follow me over on Instagram, or if you've been listening to the podcast, you will have heard me talking about a show called The Floor. So remember when I went to Amsterdam in October for this weird solo trip? It wasn't a solo trip. I was actually going out there to film the show. So I had been approached, I think in August time, to fill in an application for the show. I'd done all that. I did an Zoom audition, a phone call audition, and an in-person audition, and then passed all of the auditions and was told that I was going to be one of the contestants flying out to Amsterdam to take part on The Floor, which is Rob Brydon's newest quiz show on ITV. Yes, Uncle Bryn from Gavin and Stacey. I have met, I have spoke to, I have been in the same room as him. He was the host of The Floor. So yeah, it was so exciting, and I can now officially tell you all what my category was. So I had the category, drumroll please, of footballers, which I was thrilled about. So of course today I have worn my Arsenal shirt. Take a guess in the comments if you can guess which player is on the back of my shirt. I'll give you a clue. It's one of the women's players. If you can guess, you get 10 points from me. 10 points to Hogwarts. What the hell? Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, whatever the house is, you get 10 points. Yeah, my category was footballers, which I was so happy to have received. You can basically, throughout all of the auditions, they're getting to know you, know your personality, know what category they think would suit you. And obviously, you guys know I'm a huge fan of women's football, a huge advocate for just women's rights, women power, women empowerment in general. So women's football is a category that suits me so nicely because I love going to the games. I love being yay, women's football, like a little cheerleader for the women's game, because I know it still gets shat on by the men all the time. And genuinely, I think the women's are 100 times better than the men. So if I had my way, I would have only had women's footballers, because you girls, not going to lie, I'm not really a big fan of the men's game. I don't watch it. It's just not for me. But the women's game, I am at every Lionesses match, Newcastle United women, Arsenal women, I am here for it. I had mixed, which was fine, at least they gave me just general, not just, right, you've got men's footballers, and I would have been okay, I'm screwed. But yeah, I had footballers in general, which I was really happy with. And I kind of feel like having footballers, especially women's footballers, aligned really well with the podcast, because if you think of women's football players, the majority, or a large majority, are gay. And obviously the podcast, we are in the most gay little studio you could possibly be in right now. So it was just really cool to have something that I felt I could use the podcast with. Does that make sense? I didn't want a category that had no alignment to the podcast, because really the whole reason for me going on the show was to give the podcast a platform and to put the podcast out there. So if they'd given me the category of, for example, one of the categories was the Beatles, that wouldn't align so well with the Lesbian Lounge. But having footballers, women's footballers, lesbian footballers, you get to the Lesbian Lounge. So it's really nice to be able to when I'm doing advertising for the show, I'm able to speak a lot about the podcast at the same time. So I had a feature in the Newcastle Chronicle, and they spoke about the podcast and, how much it's growing, how well it's doing. Also, we hit 15K. How did I miss that out? We hit 15K downloads last week, guys. I am over the moon. It feels like literally it was a couple of months ago that we only hit 10K and we're already at 15K. mind blown. Thank you. Yeah, we spoke about, sort of the growth of the podcast, where it's come from, the point of it, because really I've told you this so many times, but the point of this podcast is here to be your safe space, to be your lesbian big sister, where you can ask those questions. You can admit the most horrifying dating experience that's ever happened to you without fear of judgment or embarrassment, without fear of people finding out who it is, because it's all anonymous, right? So I think I really do think this podcast is so special. And to sort of have like newspapers reaching out and want to talk about that too makes me so happy. And, I said this to the newspaper. If you cast your mind back, maybe even 2-3 years ago, if there was a quiz show on the TV and there was a category of footballers, no way in hell would a woman have had that category. It just wouldn't have been the case. So to be here in 2026, we filmed in 2025 obviously, but 2026 as a queer woman with the category of footballers, I think that is so empowering. It shows anyone out there watching the TV at home, well, if a girl can have the category of footballers, then I can go and play football. I can, be who I truly am. Seeing a lesbian on TV, oh my God, I can be like that one day. So it was so incredible to sort of have that link to the podcast when I was out there and just getting to meet all of these people. Obviously, there was 81 of us players, so getting to meet all of them, hearing about like their lives. There was a couple of the queer people there. And what I think was really cool is fashion icons was a queer man. Footballers was a queer woman. Like the crossover there, you would never assume a queer man would have fashion icons and a queer woman would have footballers. You just wouldn't. You would assume, and I actually got assumed to be fashion icons, and I was like, just wait until you find out. So just the fact that they were so open to being inclusive and, doing things different to the norm and, pushing those societal standards, because that's exactly what I do here at the podcast. We don't fit into the norms. We don't have this heteronormality. We push out the boundaries, and we are here for like queer power, lesbians to rule the world, right? Lesbian God is a lesbian. Lesbians rule the world, right? Like, shall we do what we did? Well, did we kill the dinosaurs, or did the dinosaurs just kind of like get blown up? I don't know. But shall we just do that to men? Shall lesbians just rule the world? Who run the world? Lesbians, right? Because we are fucking iconic and powerful. And now we're on TV talking about footballers. So it's so exciting. If you have ITV, ITVX, I believe you can only get that if you're in the UK. So any of my international listeners, you might need a VPN. And actually one of the guys from the show, he was away when the first episode aired, and he said he paid £10 for a month's UK VPN. So it's not really that expensive. So if you wanted to watch it, you can watch it on ITV1 and ITVX every Sunday at 7 p.m. for the next 10 weeks. The winner of the show takes home a cash prize of £50,000. So you guys will just have to keep watching to see if I took home the cash prize and to see how I did on the show. And also just, cheer me on. Tag me in a little Instagram story if you spot me in the episodes. I did quite well in episode 1. I had a little bit of airtime. So it's just all really exciting. And I'm so glad I can finally tell you guys, right? Because for so long it was, I've been away to film a secret project. I can probably tell you that it was in Amsterdam. Then it was the secret project's getting announced soon. Then it was, I'm on a TV show. Then it was, I'm on the floor, but I can't tell you my category. And now I can tell you all. Obviously, I can't tell you the results of the show, but in 10 weeks time, we can have a deep dive into that and chat all about that. But for now, I can tell you that I'm on the floor on ITV, ITVX, with the category of footballers. How exciting. Do I have any other exciting updates? I think I do. In a week's time, next Saturday, the 18th of January, I am going to Iceland. I'm so excited. It's a little family trip with my girlfriend's family. So it's me and my girlfriend, her mum, her dad, her brother, and her brother's friend. And it's all of us work in the bar as well. So Lucy's brother Jack, his friend Ellis, works in the Raven. So it's kind of like a family/work trip, but obviously we're not doing any work. We're going to celebrate the incredible success of the Raven. Opened in July, and it's just continued to soar ever since. Pun intended, because ravens soar through the sky, right? Did you all like my Raven impression then? So it's going to be really nice just to celebrate all things to do with the Raven, celebrate Lucy because she's just done so incredible. A lot of bars you go to, they just have this like generic cocktail menu, right? Porn style martinis, espresso martinis. Good for them. Lucy has handcrafted a full cocktail menu. They have the classics, but then they have the signature cocktails, which Lucy has like literally used her clever little brain to go, okay, if we use this much lime juice and this much vodka, this will taste like this, right? And she also did an autumn cocktail menu, a winter cocktail menu. She's making us some floor themed cocktails because we're having a little floor meetup on the 25th of Jan. So it's going to be so nice to see everybody. We're going to watch one of the episodes together, have a little catch up, and Lucy's making us 2 special cocktails. So she's just so clever. So it's going to be nice to celebrate her and just not do any work for a week, right? Like they've been so busy. She's constantly at this bar like 11:30 till bloody 1:30 at night sometimes. So it's going to be really nice just to relax, even though it's not like a have a sunbathe holiday. It's a go whale watching, go on these like, what are they called, like mopeds, snowmobile things, go snowmobiling. We're going to the Sky Lagoon. I just can't wait. I've never been to Iceland. It's never somewhere I necessarily thought I would go. So I'm so grateful to have such a special family and all who are taking me along on the family holiday with them. And yeah, I can't wait to go to Iceland. Do I have any other updates? I don't think so. It's just 2026. Life's going well. You can nominate us again for the UK's Top Influencer Podcast of the Year Awards. Last year we made it to the top 5. Can we go one step further this year and win it? If you want to vote, I will pop the link to vote in the description of the podcast. I'll also pop it over on Instagram and TikTok at the Lesbian Lounge Podcast. And I think without further ado, let's jump straight on into this week's episode. So this week's question of the week is, what is the most dramatic thing you have done to impress a woman? So think this could be like something you've done before a date, something you've done after a date, something you've done to like, you had date 1 and you're like, okay, I really like this girl, I need to impress her. She told me she liked creme brulee, so I've now hired a private creme brulee chef to come and like cook us creme brulee at date number 2, right? I want like the most dramatic things, not like, oh, she said she liked dairy milk, so I bought her a bar of dairy milk. No, I want like, she said she liked bald girls, so I shaved my hair off. We want the drama, okay? So, first one, where I like the confidence. I don't need to do anything dramatic. I just accidentally pull. Fair enough. You must just have the allure. I filled my room with 100 red balloons and fairy lights with 100 red roses to ask her to be my girlfriend. Okay, I'm here for that. Imagine you like sitting blowing up 100 balloons, getting 100 roses just to ask her to be your girlfriend. That is precious. I love it. I wrote a song for them. Iconic. I'm here for that. Like, this is the level of dramatic we're talking, right? When like love letters, fuck them. I want a full-on song. I want you to get on your knee, play a guitar and propose to me, right? It was long distance, so I spent £100 on some roses and a teddy for Valentine's Day just so she would have something. That is cute. I love that. I'm not bold or confident enough to do anything dramatic. Fair enough, but do you know what I mean? Just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? I guarantee if you did what that last girl did, bought them some roses and a teddy bear for Valentine's Day, they would be all over that. And guys, it's nearly Valentine's. How exciting. We need to think of something like cool to do for Valentine's Day. Maybe like speed dating or something fun for Valentine's Day. Let me know your ideas. I learned her native language. Okay, this is the level of dramatic I am talking about. She's from Spain. You're from England. You don't speak Spanish, but you learned Spanish so you could woo her in Spanish. I'm so here for that. Twerked. Okay, that's giving dramatic. Twerking for them. I love it. I learned the piano. Okay, yeah, I'm so here for that. Maybe she said she loved listening to the piano, so you said, yeah, watch the space. And then you're like, la, 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 playing them a song. So here for that. I haven't really. I was high on acid when I met my partner. Fair. I mean, that's giving dramatic in itself, right? We're here for it. Bought her a fossil of her favourite dinosaur from her favourite fossil shop. Here for that. Iconic. You know what though? I feel like some of these things, like, are they giving bare minimum? Like, we should be buying roses and teddy bears for Valentine's anyway. We want 100 balloons anyway. That should be bare minimum. Is that bare minimum or princess treatment, right? Because for me, everything's bare minimum. Like, everything. Foot rubs, bare minimum, not princess treatment, right? I got a tattoo, and it's my only tattoo to this day still. Wow. I'd love to know if the tattoo is like her name, the date you got together. I feel like that is a dramatic thing to do, right? You go on like a couple of dates with the girl. Oh my God, I'm going to get your name tattooed on me. And then you've got like Lucy, 2nd of May. Was it 2nd? No, 11th of May. That's it. 11th of May, 2025, like on your arm forever, right? I hope you're still together, because that would be worse if not. Wrote her a 5-page letter, LOL. Okay, yeah. If you're writing love letters and not songs, it needs to be 5 pages bare minimum, right? A 1-page love letter, it's not going to cut it anymore. It needs to be a full love letter. You know what I just remembered? I feel like I forgot to give you guys like the final update of my advent calendar that Lucy did for me. There was 3 gorgeous love letters in there. I think I told you all about most of them. For like day 16, she did 16 things she loved about me. I got pajamas, I got skincare. It was just the most thoughtful thing anyone's ever done for me. So thank you, babe, for my favourite present ever, my advent calendar. And also my promise ring. I guess that's kind of has to be my main favourite present, but my advent calendar I love too. I travelled an extra 400 miles just to see her for dinner, but spoiler alert, it didn't work. 400 miles? Like, how far is that? Let's Google. What is 400 miles from the UK? 400 miles from the UK, roughly 640 kilometres, covers most of Western Europe, reaching to France, Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany, and even parts of Spain. Wow. So you literally got on a flight, say from England to Paris, just to go for dinner with her, and then it didn't even work out. I hope you got a cheap plane ticket or a Eurostar. Okay, we'll do 2 more. Travelled 9 hours for a first date. That's dedication. Like, where, if we think, say I'm in Newcastle, I can get a train to London in like 3 hours. Probably driving would take like 6-7 hours. So maybe like Cornwall, like somewhere down south, would that be 9 hours? Probably. That is commitment. Like, if you drove down and back in one night for the date, or did you become a U-Haul lesbian and drive down and then just like move in there for the next 5 months of your life, right? Okay, final one. I paid her bills. No way. Like, for the month, for the year, for life, did you pay off all her debt? What the hell? That is dramatic. The tattoo, 9 hours and 400 miles. I think they're the most like giving dramatic. Like, then verging off bare minimum, right? I mean, if it was me and Lucy lived 9 hours away, yeah, it's bare minimum to come and see me for a date night, right? But for you on like a first date driving 9 hours, it's giving dramatic. The tattoo is giving dramatic. Paying off their bills is giving dramatic, but I'm here for it. Like, was that a first date? And she was like, oh God, yeah, like, sorry, I would love to go halves with you, but like, I'm really in debt. Like, I've got so many bills to pay. And she was like, don't worry, I'll pay for the meal. And here's $1,000, pay off your debt, pay your car and your phone bill for the month. Happy days, right? I'm here for that. I love it. Shall we jump into some dilemmas? And let's just say we're keeping on the dramatic theme because I have some hella dramatic dilemmas for you all today. Are we ready? Strap in, strap on. Okay, I said dramatic, we're getting dramatic, let's go. Hi Juliet, me and my girlfriend are both 23 years old and have been dating for over 6 years. So how long is that? 23, 22, 21, 2019, 18, 17. So you've been together since you were 17. Wow. Over the past couple of years, there has been a steady decline in PDA to the point where it has become non-existent. We occasionally hold hands, but kissing in public is basically off the table. The first 4 years were the total opposite. We were wild and used to make out anywhere, anytime. There were countless times we fingered each other in public, whether that be on trains, in cinemas, the university library, in parks, etc. And often she was the one who initiated it. Okay, like, we're here for it, as long as you don't get caught, do you know what I mean? Because that would be embarrassing and probably quite awkward. Like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just fingering my girlfriend. Get the fuck off the train then. Do you know what I mean? Because I do feel like that's kind of illegal. But sometimes, like, you probably get a kick out of it doing like that adrenaline rush, right? One time on a train, we started making out. She reached under my dress and fingered me for 15 minutes, making me come repeatedly. Okay, that sounds like a wild time. She even made me lick her wet fingers clean. Okay, sexy. One time when walking back from a night out, my girlfriend stopped, leaned up against the brick wall of someone's house and said, "I'm so fucking horny right now. I need you to go down on me." No way. Outside someone's house? What if they like heard noise and came out and you're there like licking your girlfriend's fanny? Crazy. Anyway, right there on the pavement, I got down on my knees, pulled her knickers down and ate her out. Wow. Now, if I even try to start something in public, she laughs, calls it inappropriate and tells me to control my horniness. Okay, but you literally made me lick you out outside someone's fucking house and now I'm trying to like kiss you in public and you're saying you're too horny, like control it, it's embarrassing. What? When I remind her of all the crazy things we used to do, she laughs and tells me that we were young and immature back then. I get that some of it was reckless, but now even kissing is a no-go. Yeah, so like you've done the reckless things, you get that, but now like even trying to just kiss her in public, it's like a big no-no. That's strange. I wonder like what's changed in her head. Maybe she just had like a realization being like, this like wasn't right. Or maybe like, you never know, like one of her friends was like, I saw you guys like on the train, what were you doing? And she just like realized, okay, maybe this is too much. Maybe I need to take a step back, and maybe got a bit embarrassed, like because someone spotted what you guys were doing potentially. Our sex life at home has changed too. Okay, I feel like that changes everything, because clearly if she'd like gotten embarrassed, she'd still be fine doing everything at home, right? The sex itself is still great when it happens, but it's lost all spontaneity. It's almost always on weekends, usually at the same time. Okay, so she's clearly just thinking like, right, Sundays at 6 o'clock, I'll get it on. The rest of the time, no thank you. Weekday sex only happens if I initiate, and I don't want to be the one always asking. I want my girlfriend to be horny for it as well, grab me and rip my clothes off just like she used to. We used to fuck all the time, sometimes multiple times a day. I know we're not university students anymore and have jobs, so sex multiple times a day isn't realistic. But even when we initially started working, it wasn't like this. For example, one evening I came back from work and had only just walked through the door and taken my coat off when my girlfriend greeted me completely naked apart from the strap and harness she was wearing. No way! That's sexy, right? Imagine coming home from work, like you're tired after a long day, and then boom, your girlfriend like drops her dressing gown and she's got the strap on. That's wild. Before I knew it, I was face down on the hallway floor. She yanked up my skirt, buried the full length of the strap on inside of me, and proceeded to fuck my brains out whilst chatting absolute filth. This is something from a book, right? Like, surely, like, people have, like, sex fantasies about this. Like, you were living someone's absolute sex fantasy. My girlfriend tells me the lack of spontaneity is just what happens when you get older and have real jobs and responsibilities. I feel like something has had to happen for her to just like completely shift. And I guess you said it's been like more of like a steady decline. It's not been like 100 to 0 really fast, but like over time she's been like doing less. But I do think it's strange that like the sex at home has changed as well. Like fair enough, maybe thinking, okay, like I've had my spell of being fingered on a train or fingering you on a train, like that needs to calm down now. Let's just save it for the bedroom. But the fact that the bedroom is being like affected as well, something's had to have like shifted in her brain for this to happen. I know it's not a major thing and I love my girlfriend more than ever. I'm just pondering if the regimented sex life and a lack of PDA is really a consequence of getting older. Perhaps I haven't let myself grow out of that wild, immature phase. Or is there something I can do to bring back even a little bit of the spontaneous, can't keep our hands off each other spark? I'm a bit flawed with this one, you know, pun intended, the flaw. Right? Like, it's just strange to me that it just seems to have like completely gone. I mean, I guess, yeah, you're both working. I don't know what she does for work. Maybe it's quite a lot of like, you know, manual labor. She's like doing a lot of like physical work throughout the day. So she's genuinely just coming home exhausted and like not feeling like she has the energy for sex. Potentially she has just sort of, you know, realized that like what you guys were doing was spontaneous and like that was a time, and the chapter's closed on that. And maybe she doesn't quite know how to go from like wild sex to just like regular sex, right? Fair enough if like you guys have outgrown that side. If you're both happy to like not be having this wild spontaneous sex anymore, fine. But maybe she just doesn't quite realize, like how to do like plain vanilla sex. But if that's not what you want, then obviously there's an issue there. But if you're happy with just like whatever sex you can get, right, like whatever she's up for, then I wonder if that's the issue. She just doesn't quite know how to have regular sex. She only knows how to like initiate wild sex on a train outside someone's house, like crazy strap-on sex on the hallway floor, right? Maybe she's struggling to find how to just be in the bedroom and like start kissing and go to sex like that. So maybe that's somewhere where you could sort of, obviously I know you're saying like you are having to take the lead a lot of the time, but maybe you could like just sort of talk to her about it and be like, listen, like where is your head at? I'm more than happy in our relationship, but I feel like there's been a bit of a shift in our sex life. Like, is there something I can do? Do you want me to like initiate more? Like maybe she's just had like a complete like dip in her like sex drive and her libido. You know, as we get older, you guys are still young, you're 23, like, you know, hormones change, bodies change. Like, has she been on the pill previously and come off the pill? Has she got on a pill? Any new like medications, things like that? Because things like that really do fuck with our bodies, right? So potentially there's something like that going on there. But I think genuinely it might be that she has, you know, sort of had this like crazy wild sex life with you. She's like got a job now. She's thinking, right, I need to be mature. I need to like step into like the adult version of me. She's done that. She's thought, okay, what I was doing is too wild. It's too inappropriate. So I now don't know how to just go to having normal sex. And I guess that doesn't mean that just sex in the bed has to be vanilla, right? Buy some handcuffs. Like maybe, okay, we got it. Yeah. Maybe what you need to do is buy some spicy things for the bedroom. So she still sort of gets that kick. Maybe you could like surprise her the way she used to surprise you, like catch her off guard. Don't let her get in her head about it. And maybe she might just be struggling a bit at the minute. I've been there where you don't feel super confident in yourself, and it does affect your sex life, right? Because you don't feel like you can just fully like lie out naked and be yourself. So maybe she's gone through some confidence issues. So maybe just really like hype her up, tell her like how incredible the sex is, how beautiful she looks. I saw a TikTok actually. I don't know if anyone follows Taz and Alessia. They're a couple from Australia. And Taz made this video being like, I've been with my girlfriend for 6 years, but this year I'm going to act like I haven't got her yet. I'm going to start acting like I did before she was my girlfriend, acting like I had to get her, I had to win her over. Like, I'm going to start doing little things like that again. So maybe we need to start, because obviously you've been together 6 years, so the same amount of time as them actually. So maybe things have just got a bit comfortable. Maybe she's not feeling like the spark that she used to feel around you because, you know, you're both busy with work now. You come home and, you know, doing your emails, marking books, I don't know what you're doing, but maybe she's just feeling like that spark's kind of died down a bit. So maybe if you go out of your way to plan like a really romantic date night, you know, be like, babe, I've changed the sheets, baby, I've bought this for us to try. Like maybe if you sort of initiate in that sense, and that's not even then you initiating sex, right? You're just showing her that like you still love her, you still fancy her. You're showing her that that spark is still there and it hasn't died because you're saying you love her more than ever, right? So there's not an option here to like leave the relationship because you're so happy and fulfilled. We just need to sort out the sex situation. So yeah, maybe like treat her to some nice lingerie, buy some like handcuffs, some whips, something kinky for her because clearly she's a kinky gal, right? See if there's something you can try out together. There's like a card game or is it like a dice game where you roll it and you have to like do the sex position that it lands on. Something fun like that because it clearly seems like you guys both love the like spontaneous, wild sex. So having something like that, like just coming home and you're like handcuffing yourself to the bed. Do we all remember that story though of the, my favorite story, the girl with the handcuffs naked to the bed, heard her girlfriend coming upstairs, open the door. Oh, it's my girlfriend's mum, right? Hell and horror. How could you ever recover? But, you know, maybe you guys live together. So you could like come home and you're handcuffed to the bed and you like leave a note downstairs, like come upstairs, there's a surprise for you, winky face. Like little things like that, just show her the spark's still there. You fancy her just as much as you did previously. You still want to have sex with her. Make her feel so sexy and so loved, and show her that you still have this little bit of a wild side. And I think that might help bring it out of her. As for like in public PDA things, I do think it's quite strange that like even holding hands and having a kiss like now seems to be off limits, when you literally used to like finger each other on trains and lick each other out just on a brick wall. So maybe that's just something you could speak to her about and be like, listen, like, have I done something? Like, has someone said something to make you feel like embarrassed of being out with a girl in public? Like maybe it's just that, maybe a little bit of internalized homophobia has kicked in. You were young, you were wild, and now as she's getting older, she's thinking, oh my God, like I've never really sort of registered what I'm doing. And maybe now that's why it has sort of gone like from all of this wild stuff to not even being able to hold hands, because she's sort of just thinking, hang on, like, and got so overwhelmed and thought, that's not what I want to do. Like, I've got this internalized homophobia. People are judging me, you know? So maybe just reassure her you're there for her, you love her, but, you know, I want to show you off in public. I want you to show me if I want to hold hands, if I want to, you know, give you a kiss. I want to be able to give you a kiss. So what can I do to make you feel more comfortable to be able to do that again? I think that's a conversation. Sex side of things at home, I think definitely just spice things up, surprise her, because if you catch her off guard, she's not really going to have time to get in her head and go, oh, this is too, you know, she's just going to go, oh, okay, right, I guess we're doing this. And hopefully that might sort of, you know, when you get an adrenaline kick, hopefully that'll give her that adrenaline kick that she used to get, and it might sort of just like put her back into her old ways. But good luck, keep us updated, and yeah, if there's anything else we can help with, let us know. But I'd love to hear a little update on this, see how the sex life changes, if it improves, if everything gets better. I would love to know. So yeah, keep us updated. Okay, moving on. Guys, we're keeping this episode, I'm just going to title dramatic, because we are having some dramatic dilemmas today. When my girlfriend and I first started dating, we've now been together for 8 months. She asked what my body count was. Okay, like valid question. We all do it. We all ask like, what's your ex called? How many times did you have sex? Did you have sex in this bed? How many girls have you slept with? Did you sleep with boys? We all ask the questions, right? I am a pain in the arse for doing it. I know I am. So sorry, Lucy. I'd considered lying, but decided to be honest. Okay, we appreciate the honesty. And I disclosed that my body count was around 70 women. At the time, she didn't say too much, just that it's way too much for a 22-year-old. Okay, I mean, it's a lot of women, but as long as you're safe, as long as there's no STDs, who are we to judge? As long as you're happy, as long as you're enjoying the sex, you get that pussy, girl. 70 pussies, right? Love it. I could tell from her limited comments and facial reactions that she wasn't comfortable with it. To be honest, I'm not proud of all the hookups, and I'm ashamed by it too. Yeah, fair enough. Like, again, you probably had a wild, reckless sex life like the girls before, but instead of doing all this wild sex with one person, you were doing it with multiple women, like getting with people on nights out. Like, it's nothing to be embarrassed of. Like, it's a part of you, it's who you are. And again, like, those girls, they're in the past for a reason, right? Obviously, this is now your future wife, so she's number 71, and it stops there, right? A lot of this was driven by being closeted until I was 21 years old. So when I was lonely and horny, I jumped on the dating apps, and one night stands became a secret mechanism for expressing my sexuality. So valid, right? You're like, you don't feel comfortable enough to just openly come out. So you're on the dating apps and you're like, I need to like feel gay somehow. How can I do that? I know, I can lick a pussy. Let's get on the dating apps. Let's find someone. Okay, I'm at Susan's house one night, Sasha's the next, Molly's, then Lucy's, then Juliet's, then Sally's. You know, you're just having a wild time figuring out what you like, figuring out your sexuality. It's nothing to be ashamed of, right? Like, it's a high number. Yeah, some people it's 2, 3, 4. Yours is 70, fair enough. But that's how you explored your sexuality. That's how you figured out who you were, what you liked, and probably felt open enough to then come out eventually. So don't be ashamed. My problem is now that when my girlfriend and I have arguments, she will throw this back in my face and call me a slut or a slag. E.g., if you're tired of being with me and you don't want to put any effort into our relationship, why don't you go back to being a fucking dirty slag? Okay, that's just rude. She is clearly feeling insecure about this high number. So I can see why you sort of maybe wanted to just lie about it in the first place and just say, yeah, it's 4 girls, right? It's 7 girls. I mean, some girls you would get with someone and they'd say they've been with 7 girls and they'd go, oh God, that's quite high. Like, everyone has a different perception on what a high body count is. And again, like, these girls are in the past for a reason. You weren't dating them, you were just sleeping around, which majority of lesbians have probably been in the same situation. Not even just lesbians, like a lot of people have been in that period of their life where they sleep around, right? It's normal, it's very common. But yeah, to call you a fucking dirty slag, like, that's rude. She's clearly feeling like uncomfortable around this. Like, don't get me wrong, Lucy has been with more girls than me. And sometimes I'll make a jokey comment like, oh, why don't you go back to that one? Like, ew, I can't believe you slept with girls before me. We had actually a really nice double date night the other night with 2 of my best friends, Chloe and Kareen. And we were all talking about like exes and things like that. And we were all getting in a really bad mood. So Kareen and Lucy are the masks, Chloe and I are the femmes. And I don't even know where we were getting to the conversation from, but we were just talking about exes and we just put ourselves in the worst mood ever. Like, ew, how dare you be with girls before us? And their reasoning was, we were just practicing to make sure we were perfect for when we met you. And then we were like, oh, okay, we love you again now. Yeah, clearly she has a little bit of, I don't know necessarily why she feels almost like she's threatened by this number, right? Like, because she knows you've been with so many women, she probably maybe just gets in her head sometimes and thinks, you've been with so many girls, like, surely I can't be your favorite. Surely you have to miss one of those other girls that you slept with. But the best thing you can do, I guess, is just reassure her that they're in the past for a reason and you're now with her. She's number 71. That number's not getting higher. But yeah, to call you a dirty fucking slag, that's not fair. So we need to sort of get to the bottom of this more. The argument doesn't even have to be over a major issue. It can be a minor thing. For example, after cooking, I didn't clean up straight away and the kitchen was a bit messy. She snapped and said, you're such an immature slag who half-asses everything. Okay, I think this girl has anger issues because fair enough, like, I'm a messy girl, Lucy gets annoyed at me, but she would never talk to me like that. She's talking down to you. She's not even trying to make this into a joke. Like, she's genuinely just talking down to you. That's not fair and that's not on. Other times she'll accuse me of not really wanting commitment and asks, I'm just another notch on your bedpost, aren't I? These comments hurt a lot. They make me feel like a villain and like my past will always define me in her eyes. I regret telling her the truth. If I'd lied, I don't think we'd be dealing with this right now. I can't erase my past and I'm struggling to convince her that I love her and I'm committed to the relationship. Will things change the longer we're in a relationship and she recognises how committed I am, or is this an unresolvable situation? Okay, at the start, before we'd heard the name she'd called you, I thought maybe she's just a bit insecure. She knows you've been with a lot of girls and she wants to just feel like you're number one. But the way she's speaking to you, like, you have to genuinely put yourself, like, first in the situation and think, is that how I deserve to be spoken to and treated in a relationship just because of my past? Because I promise you, like, there are other girls out there who you'll tell them your body count is 70. I don't think anyone's going to go, oh, whoop-de-doo, I'm so happy that your body count's 70. Like, that makes me feel great. Like, I don't think there's going to be many girls that are going to love the idea of that. But there's 100% girls out there that aren't going to make you feel shamed for that and, you know, talk to you horribly. Like, she's not even joking. She's literally like, you're an immature slag. Like, do you even want to be with me? Like, why don't you go back to the other girls? Like, she's just being nasty at this point. So genuinely, like, thinking with our 2026, make this the best year for ourselves mindset, I guess you have to think, is this really the safe and secure relationship that I want to be in? Like, you've been through, you know, the trenches, almost like not feeling comfortable enough to come out. You've had to hide your sexuality. And the only way you've been able to express that is through having these one night stands. You finally met someone, you've openly come out, you feel comfortable with them. And every opportunity they get, they're like shitting on you, telling you that you're a slag, like bringing up your past and making you feel, like you said, making you feel like a villain, making you feel guilty for having a past. We all have pasts. We've all done things we regret. We all, you know, that TikTok trend where it's like, I would look for you first in another lifetime so I could be with you from day one, right? Like, we would all do that if we knew. Like, if I knew Lucy was coming into my life, I would have sat like this way and twiddling my thumbs until she came to me. We all would, but it's not possible. That's not the case. We've all had exes. We've all had, you know, someone we've had sex with that we regret. We've all slept with more people than we want to. We've all got with someone on a night out and thought, why the fuck did I get with that person on a night out? What was I thinking? We've all been there, but we can't let our past define us. And we certainly can't let anyone else use our past against us. Like, she is just using this against you to make you feel shit. Maybe so she feels like she has the control in this situation, right? She's trying to take control of that number. She's going, yes, you have a body count of 70, so I'm going to take control of that number and I'm going to sort of like be the puppeteer, and you're like the little puppet that I'm just using that number and throwing it at. Like, you're a slag, can't believe you slept with 70 girls. Like, she's reclaiming that number for you so she doesn't feel as insecure about the fact that your body count is 70 women. So I think what you need to do is you need to speak to her and say, listen, I understand I have a high body count. That's my past. It's nothing I can do to change. For this relationship to continue moving forwards, we need to put it to bed. I understand it might make you feel uncomfy knowing I've been with so many girls, but I am 100% committed to you. You can see that. You know, maybe you might live together if you're saying you do the dishes together. We live together. We've bought a cat together. I have not slept with another girl for the past 3 years. Actually, how long have we been dating? It wasn't 3 years. I've totally made that up. I think it was only 8 months. It was only 8 months. Okay, I lied. Like, it's been 8 months, so fair enough, it's still not that long into the relationship. And 8 months in to be calling someone a fucking dirty slag is just plain up nasty. What's she going to be like 8 years down the line? I'm not sure. Yeah, like, we've been together 8 months. I've shown I'm committed to you. Like, I haven't texted the girls. We're in a full-on relationship. You need to just sort of lay out the facts. Like, here's everything I'm doing to show that I'm committed to you. If you still can't see that, and if you are still going to go on and talk to me this way, then I'm out. Because the 2026 best version of ourselves, we don't let ourselves get talked to like shit. We just don't. We don't need that in our lives, because there are so many other people out there who are not going to hold our past against us and are going to make us feel fucking incredible about ourselves. You know, maybe the question will come up, what's your body count? Oh, I'm not really proud of it. It's 70. And explain it. You know, when I was in the closet, I just slept with loads of women just to sort of feel queer because I couldn't come out. It's not something I'm proud of. And I'd appreciate if it's not something that gets brought up all the time. And I will do everything in my power to make you feel comfortable and make you know that you are number 72 if you get with someone else, and nobody else is ever gonna, you know, come before you, and you are my one and only, right? Like, there are girls that are going to hear that and accept it and not make a big deal out of it. She probably has a little bit of self-work to do, because I get it. I've been there. I've been the one who like fixates on the exes and is like, oh my God, like, it's not nice to be in that situation, but you can do the work on yourself. You absolutely can. Make yourself feel more confident, make yourself feel validated, so that you don't need your girlfriend's validation. You don't need to sort of hold that against her, right? To think, have a conversation, but seriously, if she keeps treating you this way, I don't think this is the relationship for you, because your future wife isn't talking to you that way, realistically. 8 months down the line as well. But please keep us updated, sending lots of love. We love you, and hey, 70 pussies, that's so iconic. I think there's a lot of girls out there who would love to have had their head between 70 girls' legs. So I'm going to leave us on that note. Thank you all so much for listening. I will be back next Thursday for a brand new episode, so make sure you tune in. You can follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok at thelesbianlounge.podcast. You can send us your dilemmas, your questions, your stories, anything you want. Nothing is off limits. It's all anonymous to our Google form that will be linked in the description. You can nominate us for UK's Top Influencer Podcast of the Year. What else can you do? Subscribe to us on YouTube. Give us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. I think that's it. Anything else you think of, let me know. And I will speak to you all next Thursday for a brand new episode. Love you all so much. Bye.